Everyone's concerned about gut health, and they should be. But one of the most common questions that I get is, well, I don't really need to take a probiotic because I eat yogurt every day. So I want you to go back and I want you to refer back to a video that I did on yogurt and yogurt quality, or the poor quality of yogurt, and how to choose a yogurt and what to look for. But I'm going to recap slightly for you here. But there's just what do I have on my list here? I've got 5 things that I want you to know about when it comes to, can you get your probiotics from yogurt? The first thing is just that quality in general, and that most yogurts have been stripped of everything, and most of the ones that you find on the market, it's very difficult to find a full fat yogurt in its natural state. So when they've been stripped down and they're non-fat, even the Greek yogurt, I'm telling you, so many people just say, well, I'm doing Greek yogurt, because Greek yogurt has really good marketing. And so it makes you think that, well, I just take the Greek yogurt, I'll just pick that one. But don't be duped by that. So it's that quality of the yogurt. Now, if you are able to get raw milk or make it yourself with high quality dairy, that's a whole nother conversation. But we're talking about just straight up off the shelf from the grocery store, poor quality yogurts. And then what they typically will have, most people will pick the sweetened versions. And so when you put sugar in it, then the sugar will actually degrade the actual bacteria that's in there that's supposed to help your digestion. So sugar is just, that's just added sugar that's actually going to cause more harm to your gut microbiome, or all of the good bugs that should live in your gut. And then you might say, oh, but I use ones with Splenda or stevia or some kind of other artificial sweetener. So we want to avoid the artificial sweeteners as well. Stevia is sometimes okay if it's in its like pure organic form, but most companies are using some adulterated form of stevia too. So it has to be completely full fat and as pure as you can get it, if you can. But even then, once you get that, then if we go to our third item, then we're looking at the strains. So the strains that are in there, it'll say contains live active cultures, including acidophilus, and then it just stops from there. So we don't really know what the live active cultures are. We don't know how much acidophilus is in there. And so it's not horrible for you, but you've got to make sure that you're really scaling that list back, because most people are doing, Activia has got a really great marketing campaign for digestive health, but it has artificial sweeteners in it. It is non-fat. It's just horrible for you. So again, don't fall for that. So when we're looking at the strains that are in there, we don't really know how many strains are in there, and we don't know which particular strains are in there as well. So when it comes to strains, the one thing that I want to tell you, and if you look at the label, so I've got one of my products right here, and this particular one, this has bifidobacteria in it, and it has acidophilus in it. And behind each one of these names, it has letters and numbers. And so what the letters and numbers mean is that these are actually tested strains. So these have been clinically proven to show that these strains can get past the hydrochloric acid in the stomach and get down to the small intestines. The bifido can get past, let's say, it's got to get past the gallbladder and the bile salt. So, and we know it's going to get down to the colon. So bifido goes to the colon. So for people who have like IBS or constipation, we've got to be able to get these strains to different parts of the gut. So it's not just a one size fits all thing when you're dealing with probiotics. So you want to look at, are these tested strains? So the strain that they put into yogurt, it just says, and may contain acidophilus. It's not a tested strain. It's just a really cheap strain that produces in there, that they can get, that they add in there to allow to make the yogurt. So just being mindful of that. Most people have such poor gut function that you're not even absorbing the proper nutrients. These particular strains can't even colonate because you're so overgrown with, let's say, molds and yeasts and other types of bacteria that should not be in your gut, or that should be, but in much smaller quantities. So it's really important to note that anything, you know, and people are like, I just want to get all my nutrients from food. This is to that camp that if you have any kind of digestive disorders whatsoever, or digestive issues, chronic bloating, again, IBS, anything autoimmune, migraines, headaches, eczema, skin, anything like that, you have a gut issue. If you have chronic sinusitis, you have a gut issue. So you have to pay attention to that. I have 14 different probiotics that I can prescribe for you that have a multitude of strains in them in effort to hit different parts of your gut so that I can make sure that I'm collinating in all the proper areas of the gut. And I could give you one specific for your sinuses, or one specific for your colon, or one specific for the female reproductive tract. Like, there's so many different strains out there. And so that's where it's just not a one size fits all. So you can take yogurt if it's a good quality yogurt, even better if you're making it yourself, but you've got to be really mindful that it's not just eat yogurt and you can have a good microbiome. Because lastly, we are trillions and trillions of bugs in our body. We are more bug than we are human. And what you want to recognize on that is that if you're only taking yogurt every day, or let's say a lot of people say, well, I get my probiotics from kombucha or fermented foods. Again, not bad to have those things, but if that's your only source, now you're creating what's called a monoculture. And you have collinated so much of one particular strain that it literally causes everything else to die off. And now you have altered gut function with complete overgrowth of something that could or should be good, but there's just too much of it. We really need a balance. And so it's super important that, just from a baseline, yes, you need to be eating a wide variety of fruits and vegetables and prebiotic foods such as dandelion and watercress and anything bitter green. Those are going to be good prebiotics for your gut, which will feed the gut bacteria in there, and then lots of fruits and vegetables and good fiber. But if you still have digestive disorders, then we need to come in and strategically look at taking some good probiotics. Because if you're somebody and you're like, well, I have issues, which most of my clients are, they have some kind of digestive issue, but then they'll say, but I just prefer to get all of my nutrients, or I prefer to get all my probiotics from food. Well, how's that working for you so far? Because if that was working, you wouldn't be in this position. So it's really important to understand what you're saying to yourself, and that no, we oftentimes cannot get all the nutrients we need from specific foods. And so working with a strategic coach like myself, I can help you get there. But again, just being mindful of your proper diet, because again, if I give you this and then you go off and you're eating a bunch of cakes and cookies and Big Macs every day, then this isn't going to do anything for you either. So take that responsibility. We've got to start to clean up your diet, and then we can start to be strategic about what we need to kill off that's bad in there, and then what we need to bring in to collinate. So I hope that helps you choose your probiotic wisely. If you have any questions, please drop them, because I have high quality probiotics that I always recommend. I do not recommend going to the big box store, because the quality there is just, it's very poor quality that you're going to find in the big box store. So watch for another video, and I'm going to talk about how to choose good product quality in your probiotic so that you know what you're buying and you're not throwing your money away. All right, thanks so much for being here, and we'll see you on the next one.